This plant hanger is super easy and there are no knots required. I used 2mm macrame cord, which I got from Amazon and will link it in my description box. You'll want to cut 5 pieces at 60 inches and 2 pieces at 30 inches. Then fold 4 of the 60-inch pieces in half, and I'm going to add a wrap around the center. To know where I want the wrap to start, I pinched the sides and figured out how long I want the loop to be. I'm going to keep my fingers pinching where the wrap is going to start and grab the last 60-inch piece, putting the end of it where I'm holding the 4 cords. The loop is going to be about 5 inches, so I use my flexible tape measure to see where 5 inches is and then make a loop with the added 60-inch cord so it's at least 5 inches long. Now I can wrap the remaining cord around the loop and the 4 other cords. Once you get to the end of the loop, or you have the wrap section as long as you want it, take the end of the cord you're using to wrap and put it through the loop. Then go back to the top of the wrap where you started and pull that cord tight. This will create a knot at the bottom of your wrap and conceal it inside. Cut off the loose ends and that completes the wrap. Now to make this part the hanger, I'm going to fold the wrap in half and then take one of the 30-inch cords to add another wrap. This time, wrapping the cord around all 8 loose cords. And here's what it should look like. Next, separate the cord into 4 sections of 2 cords each. Then, using masking tape, tape off the ends. We're going to add some beads, and this will make it much easier to string them on. I'm using 16 12mm beads and 4 14mm beads. All the beads will be strung through 2 cords, and this is why I chose the 2mm cord for this hanger, but you could also make a larger one with bigger beads. On the top portion, I strung a 12mm, 14mm, then another 12mm bead, and I did not create any knots to hold them in place. They fit pretty snug. Next, I'm going to separate the cords from each section, taking 1 cord from the left section, 1 cord from the section to the right, and I'm going to bring those 2 together and add another 12mm bead. The tape I added is to know where I want the bead to sit. This is going to vary based on the planter you use and how large or small it is. Repeat this on all of your cords, and the 2 outside cords on the left and the right will also combine to complete the circle. I'm going to repeat that process one more time, but you could absolutely add as many or as few beaded sections as you want. Now I'm going to take the last 30-inch cord and create one more wrap the same way we did the first 2. This is going to close off the bottom where the plant pot will sit. Cut the cords to make them all the same length and as long as you want your fringe to be. Brush it out. You can also straighten it. I chose not to, and that completes this plant hanger. What I really love about this one is how you can easily change where the beads are based on how small or how large your plant is and how you want them to look. Since I didn't add any knots, that gives more flexibility to this one, and I love it. For this plant hanger, I'm using the 4mm macrame cord. Again, I got this from Amazon, and all of my materials will be linked below. This spool has lasted me a year, and I can still get maybe 1 or 2 more projects out of it, so definitely a really great deal. You're going to need 6 cords at 90 inches and then 1 cord at 30 inches. I'm using these wood rings for the hanger. These are also from Amazon, and take 2 of the 90-inch cords, fold them in half, and use them to create a lark's head knot onto the wood ring. To do this, put the center of the cords where they're folded through the ring, then pull the rest of the cord through the loop, and repeat that 2 more times so you have 3 lark's head knots. Next, I taped the ring down so it doesn't move around on me, and I'm going to make a Cobra knot. I moved all of the other cords out of the way except the section I'm working on. To make a cobra knot, you'll have 2 working cords and 2 stationary cords in the center. Using the far left cord, make a 4 over top of the center cords, then bring the far right cord on top of the straight section of the 4. Bring the end of the right cord behind the 2 center cords and up through the center of the 4. Now I want the knot portion to sit about 4 inches down from the wood ring, so I only pull it tight to where I wanted it. I'm going to repeat this knot 8 more times and then do the same thing on the other 2 sections until I have 3 cobra knots. Now I'm going to move down a little bit and make square knots, starting about 8 inches down from the end of my cobra knot. To make a square knot, you start the same way as the cobra knot, making the 4 and pulling your cord through the center. Then repeat this going backwards. So make a backwards 4, starting with your far right cord. Bring the left cord over top and pull the end behind the center cords and through the backwards 4. I repeated this process, making 4 square knots. Now I'm going to finish the hanger with a wrap the same way as the first plant hanger and started it about 3 inches down from the end of the square knot section. I did not brush out the cords on this one, but you certainly could if you wanted to. Lastly, I'm taking this cork trivet from IKEA. They come in a pack of 3 and placing it into the center of the cords. This is going to act as a shelf for my plant to sit on, and that's it for this one. All right, this one is definitely the most difficult. It took me a few tries before I got it. I saw a girl on Pinterest make this one, but she showed the knot one time and it was in fast motion. So I must have watched that video 500 times. So today I'm breaking it down for you. You need 4 cords at 110 inches, and I used the 4mm again, and just pull them through the wood ring or a metal ring, whatever ring you have. No knot yet on this one. Next, separate the cords so you have 4 pairs. I'm going to show you this in real time, but remember you can always slow down the video if you want to recreate this. Okay, starting with the far left pair, create a 4 with the second pair over top of the straight part. Now you're going to twist, so the first pair is now hanging down and the second pair continues to the right. Create another 4 with that second pair and bring the third pair on top. Twist it again so the second pair flows down and the third pair continues on. And this time, you take the far right pair behind all of the cords and through that first 4 that was created. Pulling the knot tight here is a little tricky. You want to just play around with it, pulling each section until there are no loose parts of the knot. And this creates more of a circular design instead of a flat design. Okay, now we're going to continue repeating this knot until the top of the hanger is as long as you want it. I'll show you again in case you want to follow along. Start with the far left pair and make a 4. Pull the second pair on top of the straight portion of the 4. Twist so the first pair hangs down and the second pair continues to the right. Create another 4 and pull the third pair on top. Twist so the second pair hangs down and the third pair continues horizontal. Create one more 4, bringing the last far right pair on top. This time, pull the ends of the last pair behind all of the cords and through the very first 4, and pull your knot tight. Here's what the wrap will look like. I made this about 6 inches long. So now I'm going to knot off the bottom for the planter to sit inside. I recommend doing this part with your macrame hanging rather than on a flat surface. This got confusing and I ended up having to redo it because I was tying the wrong cords together. For the first knot, you just take each pair and tie a basic knot. That one's easy. Here's where I got confused on where each knot belonged, but you repeat the same process, moving down, leaving about 5 inches of cord between each knot. This will also depend on how large the planter you put in the hanger is. I have a 6-inch pot in mine. Next, you want to close the hanger by gathering all the cords together and adding a wrap. You can add more knots if you want. You would just repeat the process until you have as many as you're happy with. I hope I explained how to create this one in a way that you can follow and understand. Give it a try, and remember, you can always undo the knots and start over. I hope you enjoyed how I make some of these macrame plant hangers. I am going to list these ones on my website just because I'm happy with where my plants currently live in my home, and if I ever change my mind, I can easily make a new one. If you want to see some more boho style home decor, check out this video right here, and I'll see you in the next one.